is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a 2024 Corolla LE, $19,975. Need credit? If you earn at least $500 a week, we want to say you're approved at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt and Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt and Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt and Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place to get our biggest discount on a 2024 Acura. Take up to $10,000 off. $10,000 off at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 Acura dealer in the USA.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. We are ready to rock and roll. Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. It is time to talk a little sports. Yes. It's Monday. We've been relaxing throughout the weekend, charging the battery, watching all kinds of different things going on in life, right? Right, Larmo? Larmo was watching with me also at the same time. So nice job there by Sean Stanley in the imaging there as our walk-ons week 1 is ready to go. So Jags, Dolphins, week 1, we're going to be at walk-ons in Kendall. We'll be there for 6 games for our walk-ons, just so you'll know. And I can give you the, let me give you the exact ones because I don't have it right here. So we got the Jags and the Bills week 1 and 2. Then we go again to walk-ons on October 6th for at Patriots. Both Patriot games are there. So you can remember that if you want to remember both Patriot broadcasts we're going to be doing at walk-ons. And then the Raiders game, November 17th, will be there for the pre and post. December 12th, we're going to be at Patriots, the home game Patriots will be there at walk-ons. And then the last game, second to last game of the season at the Browns on December 29th, because the Jets is the last game. And we've added another road broadcast. We're going to be broadcasting from Los Angeles. So we're going to be broadcasting in Seattle for the Dolphins, Seattle. We'll be broadcasting in Los Angeles for the Rams and the Dolphins. We'll be broadcasting in Indianapolis. We got the billboard out already. Sports Babe 305 has got her thing going on. She's got the buffet and everything. So we're going to do the broadcast. We'll do the entertainment while you guys stuff your faces and have a great time. Although, Sean, you might partake in that buffet, I think. Yeah. I got that thumbs up. So I know that he's going to partake in that buffet. I don't know about, I'm not really a big eater in the morning, so I don't know if I'm honest. It's just, I'm really not much of a big eater in the morning, so you probably won't see me visiting. And now, post, at the Tavern South, I'll have myself a little dinner, and then I'll go to the hotel and then have a good night. I don't know. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, if we have enough fellas and some of the ladies, on that, after the broadcast, maybe we all get together and go to Nikki Blaine's and enjoy a cigar and laugh and have a good time. I don't know. Maybe something like that, if there's enough. Because I know Sean's not going to go to that because that's not his thing. So I don't know how many, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how many people are going to make the trek to Indianapolis. But if you are in the Niagara area for the Buffalo game, we're going to be at the River Pub. Okay. If you're in the Indianapolis area for the Indianapolis Dolphins game, we're going to be there at Tavern South. There's the River Pub for Buffalo. I don't know if have you made one yet for Tavern South yet? Okay, that's coming. You'll see a Tavern South, and then eventually wherever. The LA one, we're trying to see what we do. We might be amongst the fans here. I don't know. We're working on it. There's options. There's bars that we could be at. The problem with some of the bars is that they're too far away from the stadium. I mean, they're really far away. So we're completely out of the way. Although there's one that might be pretty cool to do at it, and even, but we'll see. All I know is that I'm going to Southern California. I got my ticket for the already. So I got my ticket for Paul Weller in Seattle. So if you're going to the Paul Weller concert in Seattle, I'll be there. If you're going to the concert for the in Los Angeles, I'll be there. That's on Friday night because I'm there. I fly in on Thursday. And so Friday night is the, and I am not missing Matt Johnson for nothing. Last time I saw Matt Johnson was opening up for Depeche Mode, and the had Johnny Marr on guitar, which was freaking, it was the Dusk album, if I remember correctly. And it was awesome. It was just absolutely awesome. And I love the. So I can't wait to see them for the second time in my lifetime. And maybe the last time I see them in my lifetime, because I just don't get to run into them that much. They're usually in Europe, so they never come to South Florida. And luckily that I'm going on a trip for the Dolphins, and the happens to be there, which is just freaking me out on that one. And then I get to see Paul Weller, who I've never seen in my life, which is just, I'm blessed. I got to say, I'm blessed for that. So we got a lot of Dolphin get-togethers, okay, coming up. So some of you that watch our show out in the Wild West, in the Northwest out there, get your asses out there. Let's hook up. Let's get a get-together or two out there. We're going to have a Dolphin get-together in Seattle on Saturday night. I think I'm going to be broadcasting from it. So that could be a good deal there too. So, and look, Sean, looks like I finally am nailing the place for Los Angeles too, where it's pretty centralized for us also, because that's the key, man. I don't want to be stuck in traffic all over the place. I want to make sure we're close to, kind of most of the things that we're going to be working around. And then if you need a F around, like a concert or something, well, that's your ass. You go drive to it. You know what I mean? But the hotel or our place is going to be like right there, centralized to SoFi, centralized to the airport, centralized to what was it? Or the place we made broadcast. So all of it is like right there, man. So we're it's good. Won't have to drive too much. Can't wait to have a little Randy's Donuts when I'm in Los Angeles. I gotta have some Roscoe's chicken and wings. Oh my God, Sean. You have never had waffles, chicken and waffles from Roscoe's, have you? You win. Oh, man. You are going to get to eat Roscoe's. That is awesome. That right there is worth the trip. The Dolphin game and Roscoe's, and it's over. That's it. Juicy ass chicken. Oh man, it is so good. That's like a must. I have to go to Roscoe's every time I go to LA also. That's a must. Ho Yoon, you're special, my brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you as always supporting the hell out of the show like you do every damn week, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. A great way to support our show and keep us afloat so we can keep covering everything for you all and get you the access that nobody else gives you. By the way, we're going to start getting some Dolphin players too. So we'll start adding some of that, just so you'll know. Working on all that stuff. So we, you just never know. Sometimes I just surprise you guys and I'll hit you with something out of nowhere, and it'll be a good thing. So lots of get-togethers coming up. We've got 6 broadcasts at Walk-Ons. We got a broadcast at Niagara, which is 40 minutes from Buffalo, the River Pub. It's a Dolphins bar and a Buffalo Bills bar too. But there's a section that's all Dolphins. It's got Marino's jersey and all that. And we'll be broadcasting from there. So if you happen to be in that area and you're not going to the game, you can join us for the pre and the post out there. I'll be hanging out for the entire game and having some fun and all that. Sean and I are going to go early for pregame, mess around and stuff. And then we're going to go to the broadcast and do our thing. It's kind of what we're going to do. But so join us for that. And then in Indy, Tavern South, you can join us there for the pre or the post. The pre is where the buffet and everything's going on, and then we come back for the post ourselves. So we'll be ready to go. So that'll be cool, man. So and then we'll tell you exactly what we're doing for Seattle and for Los Angeles. Those two, where we're broadcasting specifically, is not finalized yet, but it's in the works. It's kind of we're working on it right now. We're in the process. So hang in there. We'll tell you, just in case if you happen to live either in Southern Cal or in Seattle, we'll tell you. So there you go. Good game, by the way. The preseason game was it's interesting that the offensive line didn't look that good, but they played much better on game day, actually. So which is really nice, by the way. But we got stuff to talk about with the pregame. With the preseason game, obviously Patrick Paul looked really good. That was a real big thing out of that game, that because of the Keon Smith injury, which was that's bad luck right there. Keon Smith injury is pure bad luck. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, that this team, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. Football gods, cut the shit out. That's what I'm talking about. the dude turns and it just happens to be somebody running in the opposite direction right into your effing knee. What are the chances? You know what I'm saying? Horse shit, you know? Horse shit. It's what it is. It's just one of those where you're like sitting now look all over. I mean, hell, the Falcons had 2 stretcher incidences, one in practice and one in the game. You know, so yeah, everybody has injuries. People are losing players for the year and all kinds of stuff. So we're no different than anybody else, but I just don't want it to pile on. Okay, because by the end of the year, it's like one of those garbage mountains we have here in South Florida. Because you know, out there somewhere where you all live in different parts of the country or the world, you actually have like real mountains. Ours are artificial here in South Florida. We have no mountains, but boy, we can pile on a load of garbage and then put grass over it and make it look nice. Those are our mountains right there. Landfill. Anyway, I don't want landfill at the end of the season of injuries. And this is like, you know, luckily they drafted Paul, so now he has to grow up a little faster. He probably was going to be inactive most of the games because you couldn't keep 5 active, you know, tackles. Now you can keep 4. Now he definitely will be active for everyone. So we'll see. But man, that Keon Smith injury, and the kid was, you know, doing his best to improve. He pretty much came out of nowhere to make at least people notice him, and the coaches then, you know, actually care about him and wanted to develop him. And here he is in year 3 trying to grow, and freaking knee injury. Luckily, he's young and he can bounce back. But man, that's just that kind of luck is the kind of luck I don't want to see with us anymore. You know, I just don't want to see this crap. It's too much. Last 2 years is too much. Gus 1388 is number 1 in the house. Steve Chapman is in. I was looking forward to Friday's game. But once it started, I was quickly reminded how excruciating preseason football can be. I made it through the first half anyway. You know, Steve, I got to tell you guys something. And I think I've had this conversation many times. Probably Sean has heard it over the years. I'm not like that anymore with preseason. I kind of enjoy the little preseason I get because I really enjoyed, you know, watching Patrick McMorris. I really enjoyed watching Jalen Wright. The offensive lineman Harlow was half decent. Like, you know, like what the hell? You know, Patrick Paul was mauling people. So they were like, you know, the Tyndall gets a sack, and I've been talking about Tyndall and telling you, hey, he probably won't make the team. But God bless him. Now he's doing something. His name is showing up now. You know, where it wasn't even showing up. He wasn't registering. We would sit around and we were all, hey, is Channing Tyndall still on the team? Is he out there? Oh yeah, he's over there. And you just didn't notice him. He did nothing to be noticed. Now he's constantly being noticed, and good for him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I kind of got a kick out of watching different guys and the depth. And I know some of these guys won't be on the roster. Some of these guys will be on the practice squad. Some of these guys will be on the back end of your roster, you know, your second and third stringers. So to me, I that's how I don't look at the totality of the game. I don't really care whatsoever about the swings and misses of the points because that's kind of out of your control. And sometimes the things that happen in a preseason game and decisions that sometimes are made on the sidelines are more, you know, they're different. They're different motives. You know, sometimes they'll just make a call so they can end the goddamn game, and they'll take a chance. Just say, okay, if we score, we win, and if we don't, we lose. But hey, We don't want a tie or something. You know what I'm saying? So there's stuff that you can't control. So since I can't control it, let me see individually what I can see from, the D linemen, the Gallimores, and all that kind of stuff, that some of them showed up. And I'm like, okay, and that's where I cruise through the four periods. And this was the first game, which is, the worst game. But to me, I was able to kind of cruise through the 4 periods with no problem whatsoever. I found myself looking at different things, and so that to me was what was important, overall. So I came out of the game actually feeling good about certain players and the depth on this team, and then that, hey, maybe they've added a guy that can really help you out in this area or that area. So I, in a twisted way, kind of like Summer League, I enjoy it. Because I look at it for what it is. All right, who are the building blocks? Let me see who they are, and can you build on them? And haven't I been telling you, hey, these quarterbacks aren't going to bail you out of anything? And pretty much that's what they told you in the preseason game. It's like they're there, but, it's Tua or bust, dude. You know what I mean? This team doesn't have a defense and an offense that's so dominant that the quarterback that takes over for Tua, they're going to ask him, just hand off and complete a pass for Tua, and we'll be fine. That would be nice, but that's not the kind of team Miami has. At least I don't think so. I would love that, because then that would make even Tua's job even easier. That would be great. It would make any quarterback's job. I mean, you can win with Peyton Manning throwing less than 10 yards. Yeah, it's great to have those kind of teams, but Miami doesn't have that kind of team. So that's kind of the way I kind of spent my night. And before I knew it, and now, by the way, Steve, I have one less of those excruciating games, because really the fourth game was really excruciating, because you're really playing people that you're just hanging on to, and you're going, oh my God, I have to play my backups here, and I hope they don't get injured, and then I can play the scrubs the rest of the way, and I don't care what the hell happens to those people. You know what I'm saying? So we've eliminated that game. This is not too bad, because we'll have a dress rehearsal for 2 or 3, depending on the teams throughout the NFL. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I've got 5 more open practices. After that, going to camp is useless to go out there and watch a couple guys stretch for the first 10, 15 minutes to take roll call. Whatever. You don't see shit the rest of the year. Let's see. Giovanni in, Steven Gonzalez, Lisa Rose, NorCal is checking in Martinez, California, snuck home to take care of matters. Missed the live shows last week. Fire almost out. Now back to work. It's good to hear, man. We've been in contact, but NorCal is all good, and his neighborhood is all good too from the forest fires. Good afternoon, Mr. Rojas from Melbourne. A-Rod in, true Finn fan. Sarcasm, I like a true Finn fan. Cosa Nostra. Rookies look promising. Can't wait to see the rest of them versus the Commanders. Agree. Let's see. Think Blue Dodgers. Ray Sosa. Amazing that Jalen Phillips was activated. Yeah. He addressed the medias today. The meteors. We'll have some of his reactions for you. When I jack in, NorCal is puffing and puffing. Isaiah, Timothy Eason, Gordon Shumway, Tyon, Lenny Pena, Skylar Tipton, Christian, Michael Lombardo, Ragin, David Pridham. Ragin says the big old road show. Yes, sir. We got our big old road show this year. And hopefully we'll get to meet a lot of you guys on the road, man. That'll be cool. Brian Radke. Awesome. You will be at SoFi. Can't wait for the details. I'll be at the game. All right, Brian. looking forward to it. I'll be there from Thursday on. I get there on Thursday evening or Thursday afternoon, actually, like around 5, actually. So I'll be there for 5 days hanging out. So definitely maybe we'll have some kind of get together on a Friday or a Saturday or Sunday, because that game isn't until Monday. We don't leave till Tuesday that week. Hassan Reddick just requested a trade. It's hard, bro. He wants a new contract. He's on the back end of his deal right now, and you've got to give up a pick. And he's had like his share of, a little bit of up and down in his career, and that's why he's where he's at right now in Philadelphia, and then resurrected everything. So I don't know, dude. It's kind of like the Ayuk thing. You're a good player, but for people to give up picks, or maybe in this case only a high pick, but in Ayuk's case it's picks, and then you got to give a salary. It really there aren't very many organizations that are willing to do wild shit like that. So it puts everybody in a difficult situation. I'm just glad the Dolphins aren't in that situation where they're in a tough negotiating, standoff with a player. Ricky says, Big O, are we going to see the Dolphin starters playing preseason? Now I'm forgetting, but I think, isn't this the dress rehearsal for McDaniel? Doesn't he do it in game 2? Shit, now I'm confused.
Yeah, I think last year he did a game 2, and then he came out for one drive in game 3 at the beginning.
Right. Yeah. Ricky, I mean, listen, dude, we'll find out, because I can't really tell you what the coach is thinking, but I think this is their dress rehearsal week. I think. So we'll find out. J-Town, Ray says it's going to be a busy season for our Dolphins, and yes, sir. And hopefully we end up in the Super Bowl, man. That's what I would love. It would take a lot of support from sponsors and fans and all that. But we could go crazy that week if they make it to the Super Bowl, where we can put our show on Radio Row. Got to pay for it. But it would be kind of, if the Dolphins are there for that week, then it's worth it for us to go do it. I wouldn't want to waste the money for that for any Super Bowl, but for a Dolphin Super Bowl, I would go the extra mile, and I would, beg all our sponsors to try to come up with it and help us out and send us to the Super Bowl and be there for Radio Row. That would be cool. Definitely. Let's see. It's going to be very, very crazy is what it's going to be. Eric Simon says, team is finally getting healthy. Yes, sir. Dennis Akers, could you check on my order? You'll get everything gets shipped out tomorrow. So you're all good. Everybody gets shipped out tomorrow. Thank the Lord. So we're all good, Dennis. Everyone gets shipped. All orders that are left are all shipped tomorrow. So we pick up everything, finalized everything today. So we get to start sending everything out tomorrow. Thank the Lord. Tonight, we'll pack everything, put everything in boxes. And then tomorrow, you'll get an email with the tracking number and all that good stuff. So you'll be good, Dennis. I promise you that. Patrick Paul did have a solid performance, Ray. Chris Duquette. And you'll have bonus in there also, Dennis, by the way. Okay? So I'm going to take care of you guys. The wait is going to be worth it, because it's going to be a major discount what you ended up spending because of the extra presents that I'm adding to everybody's gifts, to everybody's purchases. Patrick Paul, Jonathan Cagle. That's right, baby. Hit that like button. Smash it. Alberto Larios. Let's go. Josh Hart. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. What's wrong with people, right? Man, it's just we have a really stupid society. We see it in everything, bro. And football is no different than politics or whatever. Like, people are stupid, bro. Like, really, really stupid. Like, if you're talking Ryan Tannehill, you're wow. That guy can't play in this system. He's not made for this system. So, Chris Johnson. Big O, I agree with you. The Edge, he's one of the greatest. He's the greatest underrated lead guitarist ever. His riffs are the most unique, artistic, legendary ones ever in rock history. His guitar, the sound of U2. Yes, sir. I agree. Big O, any thoughts so far on Cam Smith? Injury prone? I mean, I got nothing. There's nothing to say about him. He's done absolutely nothing except get injured. And so until he actually can do something, right now, there's nothing to say about Cam Smith, unfortunately. It is what it is. Jay Gelfin is in the house. Congratulations to all the Olympic athletes who've competed and especially medaled. A little concerned about USA basketball's direction. They'll get Spo now. It'll be fine. Oh, Jalen Phillips, you got to follow somebody's body. And we're all different. And some heal faster than others. And in Jalen Phillips, he might be healing faster than. Now, remember, this is a team that doesn't really overwork players. They're going to bring them back. I would imagine it's kind of piecemeal. It's not like they're going to throw them in there and, hey, let's go. You got 40 plays and you got 50 next week and 70 next week and 147 after that. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they'll pace him. You know what I'm saying? But he is young, Jay. And young people, they get to bounce back a lot faster from injuries. Unlike us old farts who have a foot injury with Achilles and still screwed up. Anyway, what are you going to do? Sam the man. Practice was really light today. Very, very light today. The lightest practice so far in camp. No doubt in the house. Ocala Joe, the whale is checking in. Yes, sir, Sean.
I was saying it might have been light because they got Commanders tomorrow for the next 2 days, right? Joint practice, I believe, is tomorrow and Wednesday.
I think it's only 1 day, the practice, isn't it?
I thought it was 2, but let me double check.
So did I. And then I think I looked at the schedule. And I think I saw 1 day, and I was like, wait a minute. Did I see this wrong? Hold on a second. Here we go. Tomorrow, coach availability practice. Then Wednesday, joint practice with the Commanders. And that's it. It's one practice Thursday. Tomorrow, it just says practice. And Thursday, the 15th, it says joint practice with the Washington Commanders. So there is no Commanders. There's no joint tomorrow. Now, for NorCal, there'll be a joint tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day after that, and the next day after that. It's joint practices at NorCal's house every day. Okay? Don't know if you guys know that, but it's kind of what goes on. Slomin's Home Shield, folks. If you're not feeling safe and secure, well, listen, I got the answer right here, man. Alarmo. Ask Sean. He protects his home with Slomin's. So do I. But unfortunately, millions of Americans are vulnerable to break-ins every year. Now you could have peace of mind knowing that your home is protected 24/7. Those Slomin's cameras are working all the time. Motion detectors. You got somebody approaching the door. That thing is on. It's on like Donkey Kong. And then it's right on your phone. And it's being recorded and sent right to your hard drive. Bro, Slomin's Home Shield understands the importance of security. That's why they're offering a free home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. The free system includes the panel, the keyboard, up to 10 door contacts, window decals, lawn sign and professional installation, lifetime service, communication device, and battery backup. And you're going to love the service. Second to none. Slomin's been protecting Americans for 100 years. Slomin's Home Security offers custom top-of-the-line home security systems that are designed to detect intruders, alert the authorities, and give you real-time updates right to your smartphone. And with their state-of-the-art central station monitoring, you're going to get 24/7 protection of any threat. So don't wait too late. Protect your home, your family, and your valuables with Slomin's Home Security. Tell them that Big O sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME today to schedule your free installation and start sleeping better tonight. Slomin's, protecting what matters most, you. So please reach out to our friends at Slomin's. All right. Pat in Asheville says to True Fin Fan, I just ran a speed test to see if it was my ISP, LOL, over 100 Mbps. So it's not me. That's right. His is working just fine. Why do old linemen always look like they're playing in quicksand? Because you're used to watching Tyreek Hill, and he's a third of the size. You know what I'm saying? And they, you know what you need to do? You need to go line up on the field. Go closer to the field. Those guys can move faster than you think. Those linemen are pretty good athletes overall, dude. You know? How do you think Patrick Paul could play a guard this year? I don't know. He's a big dude. That point's been made, which is a good point. Putting a tall dude like that for Tua in the middle, it kind of hurts for windows. But he will maul you. That's the good thing. But I would, for a young guy like this is what I would do. I would never play him at guard. He's a tackle. He's your future starting tackle. Treat him like that. And every time he plays, play him at tackle, because you're doing a disservice to him. You have plenty of other guys that can play guard. Why experiment with a guy to play guard when you have guys that are already playing guard? So he's a tackle. Play him a tackle. And now that you have the Keon injury, he will play. He will play. Let's see. Oh, trying to decide if you want to see the in Atlanta. Crowded house sounds so good at the Tabernacle. It's tempting. The in Atlanta. Holy shit, what date is that? I don't know if I can get away. But to see it's in the Tabernacle, that's worth it already. Tabernacle is a former church. For those of you, he knows that, and I know that because I went and found out when I went to the place. I saw Simple Minds there, and it was freaking amazing. The acoustics in that place are awesome. Again, former church. The Jets are so bad. Well, I hope so. I'm 3 hours away. I'll be in LA all weekend for Monday night. I'll be listening for the details as they develop. You got it. And follow always on Twitter at Big O Show. You'll know about everything there. Always on Twitter. You'll know about everything because I post it all there. So everything's always there on Twitter, man. Let's see. Your boy Dougley Durong is banging the drums for the Dolphins. No, he's not. You're lying. No, you're not. No, he's not. There's no way he's doing that. There's no way he's doing that. He's got to be out of his mind if he's doing that. But anyway, Chris Duquette, Michael Fernandez, please give a blind ass fan alert to all those talking about Tannehill. Oh, yes. Our boy Brooks had a good game. Yes. And he had a nice practice today, even though it's a light practice. Let's see. Big O, loading on more Bitcoin. Can't wait to meet you in L. All right, Jay Slim. You got it. Yeah, bro. Don't stop loading up on Bitcoin, bro. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Bebop, don't stop. Big boys are the best. Connor played guard. He was the number one center in the league last year. I don't know about number one, but he was up there. He wasn't a low-ranking center. He did a really good job overall, considering he made the switch. Did a nice job. Oh, what cold wallet do you recommend? There's so many to choose from. Dude, I would recommend the Tangem wallet and buy it directly from Tangem. Okay? I mean, it shouldn't be an issue on Amazon at all because it's not about them stealing the seed words because the cards itself are the seed words. So there are no seed words to steal. Where that you would be worried about a third party. In this case, not. But I mean, if you want to just feel safe, just buy it directly from tangem.com. And you'll check it out there. Get the 3-card one. Okay, $69, I think it is. Very affordable, very easy to use, you know. So do that, my brother. That's probably the better way to do it. Okay. And you can also get a Trezor. The Model T, I use that. It's another one that you can use. You know, there's a couple of different ones that you can use. There's an Eclipse too. It's also a pretty good one. But the Trezor Model T, and Tangem, man. Tangem would be easy for a lot of people. You know, so that's what I would tell you. Let's see. And don't forget, please smash the hell out of the like button. Smash it, and smash it. That 49 tight end, Russ Hayden, might not make the team, but that boy can block. Yes. They may have to stash him on the roster, but he can block. Yeah. Question is, can you get him to catch? And if he can catch, then now you've got it. Ray says, sad to say Dudley Durong is pounding the table. No, he is. Wow. That's sad. Oh, it is on Friday, October 11th, floor standing $55. And it's during the it's a weekend? Is that a weekend? October 11? I may call you tonight, dude. Let me see. What is October 11? It's Friday freaking night. Wow. I could easily hop on a plane to Atlanta and leave in the morning on Saturday. And see him twice on this tour. Wow. You bastard. Oh. Okay. I'll call you, Pat. I'll call you after the show. I'll call you tonight for sure. I'll call you. Damn, that's a good one because I love the. That is fantastic. Atlanta airport is hell on earth. Yeah, I know. But what are you gonna do, bro? It's one of those. It's a short flight. And it's kind of it's not too hard there and back. And if you get something, I guess, just get a hotel like right in the airport, and then just go to the Tabernacle, and then go right back to a hotel right on the airport, right there, and then fly the hell out. You know, just pop in, pop out. Don't get too crazy, and it won't be too bad. I mean, coming back from the concert to get back to my hotel should not be too bad. You know. And Atlanta is a bitch when it comes to traffic. Holy shit, man. That place is tough, dude. It is tough. Welt and Rheaume, they are tough. They are tough on insurance companies. And insurance companies, you know, they love collecting your premium. And then they like making it hard on you so you can actually get back what you lost in the fire, the storm, whatever it is, the water damage, you name it. The wind damage, whatever happened, call Welt and Rheaume. Personal injury. Maybe you're dealing with bankruptcy. Sadly, so many more Americans are dealing with bankruptcy now than in a long, long time, folks. Call them 954-966-4646. Maybe they can get you out of those issues, consolidate the bills, work with you there. Homeowner property damage, condo damage, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, criminal defense. Call Welt and Rheaume 954-966-4646. Better yet, save it on that cell phone because you may not need it now, but God forbid we get one of those rainstorms and 4, 5, 7 inches of rain just floods your neighborhood, and all of a sudden you've got water damage. Before you call the insurance company, you want to call Welt and Rheaume. They have their own adjusters, and they'll send their adjusters, and they'll take care of you, and then they'll call the insurance company and take on the insurance company on your behalf. 954-966-4646. Remember, you can go show that is Cash Big O Show, Cash App, or Venmo, and you can make also a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation at Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And thank you, as always, Chris DiMartino on Venmo. Thank you, sir. Excited for the 24-25 season. Oh, make or break season for McDaniel. Jalen Wright looks good, baby. Let's go. It is not a make or break season. What I told you, this is the hot seat season for Mr. McDaniel. And I don't mean that he is currently on the hot seat. Hell no. I don't mean that whatsoever. What I mean by the hot seat season is that after 2 years of getting to the playoffs, and even though he hasn't really had enough talent to really get it done, he has made a lot of mistakes as a coach. And this is a very key year for him to grow as a coach. And he has to prove to people that he can win challenges, that he knows when to stay with the run, that he knows how to call a more responsible game at times, knows how to spread the ball around. We're going to talk about something along those lines today that's very, 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 very encouraging. But he has to grow. And if the brain farts continue and he doesn't win his challenges and he keeps abandoning the run in key moments when it's, especially when it's working, you know, and he continues to hurt his team and keeps overloading the offense to Tyreek Hill, then by the end of the year, if he doesn't get the overall results and he doesn't start winning later in the season, and let's say the team is healthier and he doesn't, it becomes the hot seat year, because this is the year that put him on the hot seat into next season, and then that becomes his make or break year. So by the end of the year, you would have to be frustrated that he did not grow, did not become a better game day coach, did not outcoach the people across from him, and the team didn't grow in the end. And if it's healthier than it's been in the first 2 years and he still can't win games, then it becomes an indictment on him and he gets on the hot seat, and it becomes a make or break year that if he fails, he could get fired. And if he has success, he gets the heat off of him, that kind of shit. But this year is not a make or break year. This is the hot seat year after the first 2 seasons of very questionable decisions on the sidelines as a young coach. But you get that pass because you're a young coach. Now it's time to start growing up, and it's time to start, being better than the guy on the other side, and knowing when to say when on whatever it is, when to throw a flag, when not to throw a flag, when to stay with the run, when not to stay with the run, when to keep throwing it to Tyreek or when to find somebody else, when to get the tight ends involved, when to get the running backs involved, in the passing game. A lot of shit that went on with him that needs to be resolved. And so that's what I would tell you, as I've said before. This is the hot seat year. This is the year whether he ends up on it or doesn't, and takes the next step and grows. one or the other. But he's now come to that fork in the road. And so after this season, we'll see if he accelerates and continues to climb or he starts to descend. Because if there's another season of all of that, it will not convince you guys that he's the guy. Those are the facts. I've been through this for well over 3 decades now. I've seen it from fans. I know how this works. So the fresh mind and all that stuff, that only goes so far. The results have to follow. They have to follow. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin donation. The great Joel Townley, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate you. Says, for better internet connection. Is it bad today? Has it been bad?
Just a little blurry at times.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, my brother. I'm sorry that the internet connection has been bad. I am sorry. And thank you for the Cash App, sir. I appreciate it. All right, what else do we have? Rojas, Big O with improvement. Could Paul possibly be a starter later this year? I hope not. Why do I want him? I want Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson. I'd like Patrick Paul to kind of coast and Lupe Fiasco the bitch. There is no reason to hurry his development up. Teron Armstead said in an interview in the offseason that it took him just over a year to figure out the offense. That's Teron Armstead. Took him a year to feel comfortable with everything and all the calls and what he was supposed to do, because there's a lot of times that in this offense, it requires you to trust the other person and go somewhere where normally you wouldn't go, but you're going for another responsibility, right? And then what's normally your responsibility, it really takes a discipline to it, right? Because you're doing something that you're throwing the other team off, right? And you're going somewhere else, and then someone's going to cover you, and you've got to trust that, and you've got to do it with conviction. If there's any hesitation, it ruins the entire play. And he talked about how it's a system that it requires a lot of trust that people are going to be where they're supposed to be. And you have to understand what you're supposed to do and do it with conviction. And so Patrick Paul is a wide-eye rookie coming into a brand new system. Why do you want to put that kind of pressure on him? You know what I'm saying? If Teron Armstead, it took him a year to be comfortable, how long is it going to take Patrick Paul, who's never been in the NFL? So let's have Patrick Paul just develop. He just played preseason game 1, which means you're not playing against any kind of real competition. You're playing against young competition, green competition, or competition that's not even going to be in the league or maybe on the practice squad. So let's pump the brakes. Let's give the kid some time to develop. Let's let him figure shit out. Austin Jackson is more than qualified to do this job, and so is Teron Armstead, and so is Kendall Lamb. So I don't need to rush Patrick Paul. In a perfect world, Oscar, he only plays in blowouts, and he plays in 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter because the Dolphins are up by 28 points in the Super Bowl, and they said, kid, go in there and play the last 5 minutes because Teron Armstead's going to come outside and hang out with Tua and the coach and get ready to lift that fucking trophy. How do you like them apples? Okay? So in a perfect world, I don't want to see Patrick Paul. I don't want to see the garbage mountain of injuries, because that means I have to then see Patrick Paul. That means I have to deal with a Teron Armstead and Kendall Lamb injuries and Austin Jackson injuries, and I don't want to deal with that. I'm in no hurry. I was hoping he can hang out as the fifth guy for the whole year, and Keon would do his job and improve, and maybe even build him up for trade value next year if you wanted to. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not in a hurry. Brett Dodger, true Finn fan. I've never been a McDaniel believer. He has as a head coach and a leader of men, never. However, I truly hope he can turn it around for the sake of the team. Yeah, I mean, change is not fun, dude. You know what I mean? So, let's see. I hope McD can mature enough to admit he needs to change, adapt, adjust, improve. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. True Finn fan, Marino could win big games. Can Tua? Yeah, Tua can win big games. It's a team thing. It's not a Marino or a Tua thing. It's a team thing. So it's the year before when he comes off the bench and he beats Baltimore. No, that was 2 years ago. The year before he beats Baltimore in the backup in the comeback in the second half, but nobody calls that a big game. I don't know why. They only call it a big game when he lost the Baltimore game. And last year, if Tyreek catches the bomb against Kansas City, you beat Kansas City in the first game. If Kansas City doesn't, if Tyreek doesn't fumble and give away 7 points, and if he catches the bomb, that was another 7 or 3 coming, you win the game. Both quarterbacks threw 190 yards. Both quarterbacks couldn't make a lot of plays, except Tyreek dropped 2 passes. I'll blame Tua for the second one because it was slightly behind. He still should have caught it. If you're a great receiver and great hands, you catch it. But I'll blame Tua for the second one because it is a little behind. Wasn't on target. But the bomb was on target. It's a team game, bro. You know? So if you want to win every big game, everybody's got to come through. Everybody's got to block. Everybody's got to run. The coach has got to call a great game. The receivers have got to hang on. You know, and if you're playing quarterback and your head coach doesn't want to use the tight end, he took away a weapon. If your head coach doesn't want to throw to running backs, well, then he's taking away an option. So, you know, it's just there's all kinds of things that require winning, you know. And the Dolphins haven't been able to win big games in 40 plus years. 40 plus years. So, you know, it's a thing, but that's all right. Those of you that just like Troy are just clearly all negative. They try to hide and try to throw a little positive here or there, some fake positive to try to paint themselves like they can be objective. But deep down inside, they're trolling for the constant negative. Constant. I mean, that's probably why your name is Troy, because troll and Troy kind of are the same thing. And so you really can't spell troll without troll. And you can't spell Troy without troll. So, you know, it's in your DNA, Troy. DNA. Got to live off that negativity. Ryan says, yo, it's the Big O Show. What up, Big O? Happy Monday. Nice to have JP back. Go Dolphins. Yes, it was good to see him back. Yes. Don't forget the 3 TDs dropped in the snow in Buffalo. Nah, don't. What are you talking about? Like when he threw back-to-back touchdowns to Tyreek and to what's the other guy that's no longer here that's made a couple of stops after this? Yeah, and Braylon Sanders.
Braylon Sanders was.
No. I wasn't talking about Braylon Sanders. That's the bomb. I'm talking about in the end zone. He threw 2 touchdowns in back-to-back in that Buffalo game One to Tyreek, who dropped it, and the other one is the other guy came from San Francisco with Craycraft. What's his name?
Hold on, let me check.
Back-to-back drops. Touchdowns. Yeah, it's Tua's fault. It's always going to be Tua's fault.
Jamesfield and Karoon got it. Trent Sherfield.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamesville. Thank you, Karoon. Thank you, NorCal. But it's Tua. I saw Tua spit on that ball to Sherfield and to Tyreek. I saw it. It was like, poof. They won't catch it now. Then the Kansas City game when he threw the bomb right into Tyreek's hands. Tua spit that slime. It was over. It's Tua's fault. Remember that. It's always Tua's fault. Everybody that can't block, decisions about not running the ball, all that stuff. It's all Tua's fault. Everything's Tua's fault. Let's blame it all on Tua. It makes people happy to blame Tua. So, Troy, let's see. Trent Sherfield, yep, the guy who ran the slant against San Francisco for a TD for 75 yards. That's him. That is him. That is him. What else do we have? All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? And, of course, 3A Graphics and Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Your company needs custom printing and embroidery. Call my guy, Alan Blanco, in Hialeah. Great work by him. Great news in Dolphin land as Jalen Phillips returns to practice. So does Eric Ezukama, too, by the way. So it's good to see Ezukama back. But Jalen Phillips, after the Achilles surgery, back at practice and doing individual drills, but small steps leading to bigger ones down the line. Good news overall. Bad news, Keon Smith, torn ACL. He's been placed on the IR. He is done for the year. Not practicing today. Salvon Ahmed, Schwartz, Connor, Fortson, Neville Gallimore, Brewer, Benito Jones, Anthony Walker, Kamara, Ramsey, Bonner, and Cam Smith, all missing practice today. On Tuesday, round of 16 Leagues Cup, 7:30 Chase Stadium, Inter Miami taking on Columbus. And on Saturday at 7 o'clock at Hard Rock Stadium, the Commanders will visit the Miami Dolphins at 7 o'clock. On Wednesday, the Dolphins and the Commanders will have a practice amongst each other. We will cover it for you here on the platform. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right, let's change some gears. Let's talk a little basketball, little NBA, a little Miami Heat, a little Olympic basketball with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. How you feeling, Ira? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I probably enjoyed the best August basketball I've seen in a long time with those 2 Olympic championship games. I mean, I just think the way the basketball competition ended, so close, both games against France, 3-point games down to the wire. That was some good hoops. Usually, I guess except for maybe the bubble year, you just don't get hoops in August like that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was the whole Olympics was fun. I don't think you can ever compete with Paris. I'm sorry. There's only one canvas like that. And no canvas in the world. Los Angeles, everybody else. I don't know where Tom Cruise is going to jump out of in Los Angeles to make it, Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that canvas is, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so impeccable. The only criminal thing was making them swim in the Seine. That's about the only thing that I was like, I just cringed every time because I'm just like, no, dude, no.
All that reminded me of was Kramer swimming in the East River in Seinfeld. That's exactly what that reminded me of. But the difference was, and to be candid with everyone out there, I was in Europe at the start of the Olympics. And what made France so great also is so many people from so many countries were able to go and follow their teams. I mean, you're talking a train ride from every country in Europe. So all of a sudden, the competitions, you had the local flavor. You're not going to have that in LA. It's not as easy to get to from Germany and the Netherlands and Belgium and England and Spain and Portugal and Italy and Greece. So it's going to be different. That was the beauty of it. It was a hub country where so many people could easily get in and get out, that you had that nationalistic feeling for so many different countries. You lose that in LA, it's going to be typical America, sizzle and glamour. The backdrops in Paris were stunning.
Oh, man, that's it. Just, I mean, that volleyball court. How do you top that, dude?
Yes.
Doesn't matter. You can put it like right where Pepperdine is at. And Pepperdine to me is the greatest university to ever go and study and hang out, because
Malibu, yep.
Class, you're just looking at the Pacific Ocean, and it's just like so gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Even if you put it there, it's still not going to match it, bro. It's just not going to match
I agree. It was a great games, and the basketball games were great. And the way the men's game ended with Steph Curry, the way the women's game ended with a foot on the line, you couldn't have asked for better theater or better drama.
Yeah. I'm a big Kelsey Plum fan. She's, I just dig her, man. She's a great player, and then she's just great for basketball too, because she's just a great like ambassador, for the game. So she has fun. You know what I'm saying? She's cool to watch. I like her, man. Good stuff there. And again, now you know what I like about this for Spo and for Heat Nation too. Overall, there's no discussion about who's next. Like you read all over the place, and sometimes there's a list and all that, and it's like, hey, man, let's not bullshit ourselves. There's one dude that should be next, and it's that guy right there, and that's it. So that's pretty cool to know that Spo is probably the next guy.
And Big O, that's important for this reason. We can talk about the Heat culture and the lineage and the Pat Riley impact. But as we move further and further away from the 70s and the Riley impact, players don't necessarily know. There was a great story when Gordon Hayward came here for his recruiting visit out of Utah. And they had the meeting, and Gordon was in there with his wife, and it was very impressive. And they left the room, and supposedly Gordon Hayward's wife went to Gordon. Who was that? She didn't know who Pat Riley was. Because as the years go on, yes, they brought back the Showtime series on HBO last year. We got to see it a little. But you move away from the Riley lineage. You just do. Just it's like, you know what? It's like telling a player right now about Red Auerbach's cigar. And they'll go, cigar? Someone smoked at a game? What are you talking about? It's a different time. It's a different era. But I think right now, Eric Spoelstra is that guy. He's the big three coach with the championships. He's the guy who takes 12 undrafted players and gets them to the NBA Finals. Eric Spoelstra. That's why he got that extension. That's why he got that 8-year deal, one of the highest paid coaches. He now, matter of fact, I'm going to ask you this. Would you agree that going forward, that Eric Spoelstra arguably either is or will be the face of the Miami Heat?
I would tell you that if you're in the Heat organization, and if you don't make Eric Spoelstra the face of your organization, you're making a grave mistake, because he's the only one that can carry the torch. It's an exceptional point on your part, because I'm just thinking about the Dolphins. Steak is gone, dude. That shit only lives on with me. People that are old. It doesn't live on with anybody young. And so until somebody resurrects their own image with the Dolphins currently,
it's a great point.
Floundering around like they've been floundering now for decades, because that face is gone, bro. Unfortunately, that's history. No young person can relate to Shula ever again.
Or Joe Robbie or the perfect season. You do have to move on. You're right.
It's over. You have to move on. And with the Heat, they have a luxury that unfortunately the Dolphins didn't have. They have somebody that comes from the lineage of it that can stay and keep the torch going and keep it, what's that called? Not relatable, but current. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Eric Spoelstra's the guy. And now if he becomes the Olympic coach for the next 8 years,
right,
for the next 8 years, the best players in the world are going to be, talking and communicating with this guy. And man, you have to take advantage of that. I totally agree.
Absolutely. And we saw how it impacted Greg Popovich getting players, Steve Kerr getting players. Absolutely. And you see it. You see the moments with Ant-Man when Spoelstra's with Anthony Edwards. You see him working out Kevin Durant. And it might not be those players. It might not be Kevin Durant coming to the Heat, but it might be a friend of Kevin Durant. It might be a teammate of Kevin Durant where he goes, hey, I'm 37 now, but you're a free agent. This is where you want to go. This is who you want to play for. That's the kind of recruiting you get done there. There could not have been two better faces for the Heat recruiting than Eric Spoelstra with his coaching genius and Bam Adebayo with his likability and ability to play as a, hey, I'm going to steal a line here, super role player. That you can be, what other player recruits someone that says you can be the man? Dwayne eventually got to that point with LeBron, but it was hard a little bit at the beginning. But that's who Bam is also. This was a very successful Miami Heat Olympics. I agree, Big O.
Yeah, no, definitely. And even for Jaquez to go out there and be able to practice against those guys. And it gives him a carrot to dangle like, yo, kid, how great do you want to be? Because if you want to be you want to be on the other side of that team, well, then, here you go. You're going to have the stage in Miami to start, to establish yourself, as a star. So I'm excited. I'm excited about, I just hope that it looks like it, but it's just, this is the season where you start to turn the page and say, okay, let's find out what we have with these young guys and start to develop all these young guys and put more of a focus on them now.
You know what? I gotta sort of open a little the window to people and how things work. So a lot of times I'll come on with Big O and I have my agenda, he has his agenda, and yet we always wind up in the same place. And when I'm done with my segment, Big O will tweet out our segment, and usually there's a player picture. And I always say to myself, this time I'm going to try to avoid the Jimmy Butler picture, and it's not going to be there. And yet in this discussion, when you talk about the Heat turning the page, Jimmy Butler's going to decide if they turn the page. Because if Jimmy Butler opts into one more year, that's 2 more years of Jimmy Butler. That's a lifetime, Big O, in the NBA. That's a waiting game. I know, I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't say that Big O is trying to chase Jimmy Butler, but Big O feels there's a time for a turning of the page. If Jimmy Butler really wants to get his contract and move on.
I mean, you're behind on that one. That was last year that I wanted to turn the
but he had the contract. So it's going to be so interesting. Does Jimmy Butler play for a great year to get himself elsewhere? Does he play for a great year thinking he can get more time with the Heat? Or does he not have a great year and has to stay for the $52 million? Because as ESPN Bobby Marks has pointed out, there's one team that will have enough cap space to sign him outright next summer, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. And you don't trade off Kevin Durant and James Harden and eventually get rid of Ben Simmons' older players to bring in a 36-year-old player. It's going to be very interesting, this Jimmy Butler dance. But you know what, Big O? You and I just spoke about Spoelstra. We just spoke about Bam Adebayo. So much of this still resolves. Put the picture in the promo. It still resolves around Jimmy Butler. It just does. That's the NBA works.
It does, but you've got to, as an organization now, kind of walk a fine line of, okay, yeah, it's your team, but but we have to also develop these guys because, Jimmy, unfortunately, we're coming to the end one way or the other. Either this is your last year with us or this is your last 2 years with us. But
a long time.
I know, but we've got to also, so and he can't be a cock blocker either. He has to kind of be a team. He's always been a team guy. So none of this really should be a problem because he's not capable enough of offensively carrying you anyway. So he has to be the team guy and he has to be the super team guy to kind of get everybody else involved to make his life better and make him look better because really he doesn't have the energy to go out there and put 35 a night. Just doesn't.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see 70 quality Jimmy Butler games. So, Big O, you're telling me at 36, you don't think there are 70 quality Jimmy Butler games?
I didn't think there was 2 years ago. Why would I think now? It was like he was running out of gas. You can tell that he's.
Big O, you've seen this enough in sports. The term, 2 words here, okay? contract year. You've seen this play out in sports before. Sometimes a contract year could be the ultimate fountain of youth, could be the ultimate rejuvenation. That's what the Heat have to hope for. The Heat have to hope for that Jimmy is so desperate for an extension or a new contract or free agency.
No. See, here's where I disagree with you. When you've played 2 lazy years of regular season basketball where you've laughed at the process, where you've laughed at the culture, because the Heat as an organization cannot sell to the rest of their players, work hard every day, work hard every minute, cover, do everything you got to do. And your best players like, I'm at a coffee tasting contest. Oh, I'm at the tennis courts. And you cannot sell that. It cannot go that way. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make a decision as an organization. Where are you going? And so either Jimmy Butler has to either get on board back to the way the Heat do things, but the Heat have to get back to doing things the way they normally do them. And if Jimmy Butler wants to join them, great. And if he can't, well, then so be it. You got your answer. Move on.
Well, and again, it's a case of can a leopard change his spots? I understand that. We saw a player like Dwayne Wade later in his career do that. We've seen other players later in their Shaquille O'Neal later in his career do that. It's hard to do that, but you need to. But if Jimmy still envisions himself as the $60 million a year player, as that guy, show it. You know what, Big O? I hope I'm wrong. And you know what, Big O? I hope that you're wrong. I hope we're all wrong and Jimmy can manifest that the indifference of the last 2 years and the long playoff runs, hey, you were done on May 2nd. You have all the time in the world. You've traveled the world. Come back. Show it to us. I hope on our Acura Pembroke Pines every single week this season, you and I go, wow, didn't think Jimmy had that in him. Or even this, Big O, wow, Jimmy played 4 games last week. How about that? We need to see it. I agree.
Yeah, I just have – I don't have hope for that anymore because I just don't think he can physically do it. I think he's been kind of coasting is what he's been doing. By the way, folks, you can get the 2025 Integras right now at $349 a month, the 2024 RDX at $399 a month, and that RDX you can get 3.9% financing up to 60 months, and you can get electrified with the ZDX, either $469 loyalty or $499 all approved leases, 0.9% financing up to 72 months there on the ZDX. So check it out at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. All right, so they're off now for how long now till they return?
About 6 weeks. They're going to come back. They basically announced through a promotional announcement they're going to have their training camp at Baha Mar in the Bahamas. They've had good seasons when they've gone to the Bahamas. They won a championship in the LeBron years. They went to the Eastern Conference Final 2 years ago when they went there. So maybe they can redevelop that camaraderie. I think with a young team, it's good. With Jovic, with Hawkes, with Ware, with Larson, with their young players that'll bring them together. I'll be very curious to see how much Jimmy Butler is involved in the bonding in camp or if he's sort of on his own as a superstar. That'll be a little interesting window right there, Big O, when they have their team bonding events, whether it's at the water park or they get out or do something together. Is Jimmy part of it or is he on his own living the superstar life? I think camp will be very interesting.
Does that make it harder to sell when you're trying to unload him by the deadline?
How so? I don't follow.
That he's not a sociable cat?
People know. People know from the Rachel Nichols, Minnesota Timberwolves sitting at a camp, you know what you're getting. So again, Jimmy Butler will work in a culture world. There are certain teams you can't bring in and expect that to work. You have to have a very strong organization to make it work. That's why it's mostly, let's be honest here, 3 Eastern Conference Finals in 5 years. That's why it's mostly worked here, because of Pat Riley, because of Eric Spoelstra. It has to be the right team, or I was speaking to someone about this earlier today. It has to be a desperate team, a team that says we need a player now. We don't care about the contract. We don't care about the years. And to me, the Clippers in a week are opening their new arena. Steve Ballmer is all about the moment with his team. He already lost Paul George. I think that could be a landing spot for Jimmy, potentially a desperate owner who's willing to take a chance.
Yeah, that would make sense. Trade deadline, something like that. Sure. That would actually make sense.
And Ty Lue's a strong coach, and he worked with Spoelstra at the Olympics, so I think he's a respected kind of guy also in that respect.
But would they try to dump a salary on Miami?
Well, that's the thing is they don't have the cap space. They can't just take him in. So then you have to say, okay, who from that roster, whether it's a Norman Powell or someone like that, who are you taking back? This is not going to be easy. If there was a Jimmy Butler trade, it's not going to be wash our hands and walk away. You do that when you have a superstar in his prime. When you have a superstar post-prime, which I know Jimmy will disagree with, then you have to take something back. Or you have to move another sweetener in there. And I don't want to give up another first-round pick because you saw what the Khalil Ware pick does for the Heat. I want to keep the pick, so it gets interesting there. So, yes, it'll be an interesting year. Every single Jimmy Butler game will be a referendum on his future, whether he wants to admit that or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. All right, what are you working on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
I'm working on my Ask Ira for tomorrow, and I'm writing about Duncan Robinson. And the one thing Steph Curry showed us in that championship game is you need a three-point threat. You need that guy who can give you 9 points in 2 minutes at the moment of truth. This is a three-point world, a three-point league. We even saw it from the French women in their comeback against Team USA also. I'm really debating whether the Heat have to strongly consider starting Duncan Robinson because you need that type of threat. I'm not comparing him to Stephen Curry. And yet, Duncan Robinson's career track with his number of threes and first to 300, 400, and 500 three-pointers is right there with Steph Curry. So, yes, they have Tyler Hero and they have Terry Rozier. But I'm not so sure one of those shouldn't come off the bench to get the three-point spacing of Duncan Robinson. We've talked about the contract. We've talked about whether he's overpaid or not. But I know this. And Saturday, if the Olympics confirm this, you need three-point shooting. You need that threat. You need that one guy out there. He can't shoot it. Duncan Robinson is the guy for the Heat in that regard. I'm really curious to see how it plays out this year for him.
I think his contract is a bargain nowadays because of the way he's turned himself into a basketball player now. Yeah. When he was just a shooter, if you had to unload it, you can go find another Capono. And
he was Cole Swider, and that's why they let Cole Swider go. He was a one-trick pony. Yes.
Right, exactly. And Capono was a one-trick pony also. So,
sure.
Yeah.
James Jones, sure.
Yeah, we've seen those kind of guys, but this guy's turned himself into a basketball player.
Interesting, yeah.
Much respect for him. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and of course, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, we will catch up next week. Thank you for the time, sir.
Schedule comes out into this week. We'll break it down in our Acura Pembroke Pines report next Monday. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go, Ira Winderman. And again, get electrified. That ZDX. Get it now, man. 0.9% financing up to 72 months, man. Come on, dude. Take advantage. That is awesome. And they are flying out the door at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, man. All right. So, Dolphin practice today. First of all, in the preseason game, man, Patrick Paul, he looked good, man. He looked good. Now, let's not get crazy. It's only a preseason game, but kid looked really, really good. I was very, very impressed with him. The safety, Patrick McMorris. We've talked about this before in the past, where they what's it called? They have this West Coast scout or something that is able to find talent out in the West Coast, and whether it's Holland, and there's been a couple of other guys. There was some other guy there. I forgot who it was that was here for a short time, but they have a tendency of finding guys from out west, and they got some skill set there with that. Jalen Wright looked good, okay? And today, I got to tell you, today in practice, obviously the Jalen Phillips thing was the storyline, and he's back and all that. But what really stood out to me in practice today is the use of the tight end, man, and how refreshing it is. You know, I saw a nice corner throw to what's it called? Now I'm forgetting his damn name now from FIU. number 9. I'm forgetting his damn name. But anyway, so it was beautiful. And then to see Hill kind of get in the mix too, because Julian has looked good. And Tanner Connor, by the way, actually woke up, Jonnu Smith. And Tanner Connor actually woke up in the preseason game because, he's kind of been up and down in training, mostly down in training camp. And in this training camp, he's had a couple of ups, but mostly nothing special. But in the preseason game, at least he did something. But for me, the Jonnu Smith edition, and then on top of all of that, the Julian Hill elevation, I think all of a sudden you got yourself a 1-2 punch. And Smythe becomes what he should be, a number 3. It's really cool in my book. And this is something that the quarterback did not have that option last year, because they did not respect whatever tight end they've had on their roster for 2 years. I mean, Smythe caught like 40 balls last year. And that's because, what's it called? McDaniel can scheme anybody open. He'll scheme me open for 10 or 15 catches. Okay? I mean, and I'll catch every one of them, by the way. Not going to drop any. No, but seriously. And now that you have actually a playmaking tight end in Jonnu Smith, who's coming out of the backfield, who's catching screens, who's catching crossers, who's catching deep balls. I mean, he's all over the place. He's running every route. He's helping you in every way possible. And then they're doing some of the same stuff with Julian Hill. And this did not exist in the offense last year. And I think you have it in fashion. So to me, that's one of the things that I walked out of and I said, holy shit, man, this is pretty freaking cool. This team is going to use the hell out of the tight end. And they just did not use the tight end last year. And I think they're also going to throw to the backs. And Jalen Wright looked really, really good. Really good, man. That was fun to watch. That was a lot of fun to watch. By the way, you see Caneswear there. Don't forget, you could Miami Fanwear. Caneswear Miami Fanwear has everything and anything practically with a Canes logo on it. They got all kinds of Miami Dolphins gear, hats and shirts and jerseys, you name it. They got all kinds of stuff that you can buy there. They've got also Miami Heat gear. They've got Florida Panthers gear. They also got Florida Panthers championship gear, too. So if you want to get that hat, I don't have it here, do I? No, I don't think I have the Panthers hat. No, that's not it. But I just got a championship Panthers hat that's so sweet. They've got several there. You can go online at caneswear.com. Over $99, you will get free shipping. And if you use our code BIG010, you will get 10% off. BIG010. Get 10% off at caneswear.com. So check it out. If you think the offense was good, if McDaniel can have success with the tight ends, run as good as the last 2 years, the offense might not put up the same stats, but it'd be harder to stop. Yes, I agree. And if you can throw to the running backs, that would also help out too. That would help out in a big time way. By the way, let me give you what went on or what is going on with the market because we still have 35 minutes left. Market is down 178 points. The Dow Jones is down 178 points. The S&P is down just under 6 points. The NASDAQ is down about 1/4 of a point almost. Like 1/5 of a point, actually, is what it is. In the crypto market, let's see. In the crypto market, Ethereum is barely up, just under 2% at 2,652. Solana is down just under 2% at $143. And Bitcoin is right at $59,000, just under about 1%. So there you go. Not much is exploding. Illuvium is up about 4.5%. That's a good mover right now in the crypto market. Gaming, Illuvium. Theta is just under 3%. What else? Any other good movers? Cody is up 3.5%. I'm a Cody guy. All right, there you go. So that's what's going on in the markets, just in case, if you're wondering. And remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo, at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And remember, the show is hitting the road. And we're going to be at Walk-Ons in Kendall for the first two broadcasts of the year for the Jags and the Bills. We're going to be at Walk-Ons in Kendall during our pre- and post-game show. And then also we're going to be in Indianapolis for our appearance.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
So there you go. We're going to be at the Tavern South there in Indianapolis. It's a block away from the stadium. So if you are going to the Indianapolis game, you can join us. Our pregame, see that 10 to 12 is the feast that that Sports Babe is hosting. You can take part in that. We're not part of that. We're there for entertainment purposes. Sean and I are there to entertain the Dolphin folks that are there and piss off the Colt fans that are there. And talk Dolphins pre and post, and remember 11:01. So we take you right up to game day, game moment, and then Sean and I are going to go over to the stadium a little bit, enjoy the game, then we'll come back and we'll do the post game show there. Okay, and then we got to plan for a get together somewhere after. You know, I don't know what we do. You know, I don't know, maybe the cigar place or not. We go somewhere else, meet in another bar or something. I don't know. So there you go. What else do we have? Hawk Tua on the ball. All right, Robert T. Maybe they should. Luis Benito says, Jimmy is our Navy SEAL. Just drop him off. 16 wins away, regular season. Jimmy, go sell some coffee and go play with your hair. Yeah, I don't trust that. That happens when Giannis is injured along with Embiid. You kind of leave that part out. Ocala Joe says, Orlando, I ran into someone up in Biloxi, asked me if the Big O Show shirt I was wearing was the same old Big O that used to be in QAM. Nice. There you go. Very nice. We get around. For all the wrong reasons, but we get around. Thank you, Ocala Joe. Thank you for sporting the colors of the Big O Show. And by the way, go to our merchandise shop and sport our colors. Spread the word. As the DJ in the Warriors would say. No, actually, it's the guy. It's actually the guy from Riffs. Send the word. Okay? Send the word. That's what you got to do. Willie out in Colombia. Happy Monday to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. What else do we have? Jalen Phillips practicing was cool. Azukama needs a big 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Big 2 weeks to open up eyes here. Jordan Brooks, Jordan Poyer, and Waddle kind of worked on the side. So that was actually good. The Curry McDaniel, let's talk a little bit because I get it. You got to finish. You got to fill space and all that kind of stuff. And Mike McDaniel was talking about a conversation that he was having, that he had with Seth Curry and Curry's mindset and all that kind of stuff. And it's interesting that I had that conversation with Ira, that the Heat have to kind of turn the page. And, listen, I've been the only guy that's been saying it, and I love Riley to death, and I'll defend Riley to the end of time. And Riley can leave whenever the hell he wants. But Riley can't recruit anymore. He hasn't recruited a whale since 2004 when he got Shaq. He hasn't been able to get a whale since. It's been a lot. It's been 20 years. 20 years. Okay? And Ira's point today was very interesting and a great point, that the Heat have to turn the page and have to make Spo the face of the organization. Kids are too young, bro. They don't relate to Riley anymore. That was a quarter century ago. Sorry, people don't relate to Shula anymore. That's for us older people. He'll never die in my eyes. His spirit will live on. His standard is what's made the Dolphins what they are. But to young people, well, that's George Halas to them now. To what George Halas is to me, and I'm old because he's before my time. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is. And you have to have a new face. And the Dolphins have failed to have that face of the organization. They lived off the spirit of Shula forever. That's dead. That's gone already, bro. And no young people can relate to Shula. And young people can't relate to Riley anymore. We all come and go, dude. Our time comes and goes. And the impact you made with a certain generation. And then after that, once you are no longer that figurehead, it dies out. And Riley hasn't been that figurehead in forever because Spo has been the guy. And talking once a year, coming out once a year, does not make you relatable to players at all. And you'll have to explain to them, who the hell are you? What the hell did you do in this league? Because to them, you're older than dirt. When you were doing shit, it was so long ago that it was long before they ever even existed on Earth. Think about that. Ant-Man was born and Riley was already gone. And just like the Dolphins have to find a new face of the franchise because the Shula face doesn't work. Joe Gibbs does not work anymore in Washington. Vince Lombardi does not work in Green Bay. You better go find yourself a new face of the organization, a modern day face, a modern day leader. You can't live off the past. You can't live off the spirits of the past. If not, then the Jets could live off of Joe Namath forever. And it hasn't happened in forever because they keep looking for the next Joe Namath. And they can't find him because they can't find the next quarterback. You can't live off that shit forever. And the Heat are now at that crossroad now. And they're at that crossroad where the Heat Nation, it's kind of, I've been trying to, don't I tell the Heat Nation all the time, like, you people are silly. You think you're getting every free agent and you get none of them. You don't get shit. Stop lying to yourselves. And why is it that you don't get shit? Nobody's knocking doors anymore for Riley. Young people don't give a shit about Riley, dude. I give a shit about Riley. You out there that are older fans, you give a shit about Riley. Young players nowadays, he's like some myth that they've heard of, and they don't, because they're not like students of the game, historians and shit. Most of these players know nothing about the history of their sports. You guys know that, right? I could walk into an NFL locker room and stump 98% of the guys that play in that league. They wouldn't know about a player 8 years ago, 12 years ago, records, this, that. They wouldn't know jack shit. You think they're going to know about Riley? You think they're going to know about Shula? You need to find a new face. And that's kind of what it is. And if McDaniel don't hit, you're back to square one again. Trying to find the face that's going to turn the franchise around. Where everybody gravitates to, believes, trusts, understands, relates. Because he is very relatable. Now he has to win. That's the next step for him. Let's see. Big O, do you think Stephen Curry's performance in the Olympics was the greatest ever in basketball? Unbelievable. No. How old are you, Oscar? You're 25, 30, 35? Are you young? Go watch, I don't know, I'll give you Isaiah Thomas's performance on 1 foot. 41 points. Go watch that. I mean, I can come up with a whole bunch of other ones. Magic Johnson, rookie year. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets injured. He goes in, also plays center. I want to say it's like 40 points, 20 rebounds. Something stupid. Picked up a block, I think, or two. Magic Johnson. Had to play center. As a rookie. Yeah, no. I get the whole prisoner of the moment thing, but I've been around a long, long, long time, bro. Michael Jordan's 63-point performance against the Celtics in a losing performance in the Garden. Better. Okay. Sorry, dude. This is not even coming close. You know what I'm saying? Olympic performances are fun and all that, but I'm not putting it anywhere near NBA performances. I can come up with a shit ton of them ahead of Steph Curry's. So, yeah, no dice. Not for me. When Jimmy took the third game of the regular season off last year, that's all I needed to know. There's no better indicator for future behavior. If you argue with Lenny Pena, you're an idiot. 1,000% right. Chris Duquette, could Zach Thomas or Jason Taylor be that new Finn's face? No, I'm talking about it. You have to be a coach. You have to be like the man that turns the entire organization around, and Spo for the Heat is that guy. It's not Riley. It's Spo, dude. It's what I've been saying for a while now. Spo's the one that needs to be elevated and put to the forefront. And for the Dolphins, it better be Mike McDaniel, dude. We need it to be Mike McDaniel badly. Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas don't mean shit here. Are they coaching? Are they the head coach? If they're not the head coach or the quarterback, okay? I mean, Tua could do it for himself, for players, but players only last so long. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the face. It's not a player. I'm talking about like the guy that really carries your organization. Riley was that guy for a while. Shula was that guy for a while. You know what I'm saying? Dave Dombrowski did it for a short time, but did it the right way. Like, that was the guy for the Marlins. He built both the championship teams. That's some shit right there, you know? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that guy. Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor have no shot at being that guy. Zero chance of being that guy. So you need that guy. Okay? Bill Zito is that guy now. Bill Zito. Bill Zito brought the coach. Bill Zito brought the players. Bill Zito is that guy now. That's the guy that makes your organization right there. That guy. He's the Joe Gibbs. He's the Jerry West. He's that guy. He's the Lombardi. He's the whatever. Some of these guys were coaches and they ran the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he's not the coach, but he runs the franchise. Bill Zito runs the franchise. The guys above him sign the checks, and they just say, what do you need, Bill? Bill says, I got to get this, and I need this. That's what Vinny Viola does exceptionally well. Doesn't get in the way, just writes the check. Bill Zito's the guy. So we're looking for the Miami Heat. We're looking for our Bill Zito, and we're looking for our Bill Zito with the Miami Dolphins. I don't know which one it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, it could be Chris Greer, because if Mike McDaniel hits and Tua, it kind of becomes Chris Greer, because he's gotten all the players and he brought the coach, and it's his quarterback. Not the owners and not the former coach, Flo, but it's his quarterback. So it could be Chris Greer, actually, now that I think about it. Quietly, but it could be Chris Greer. So we'll see how it all kind of develops, but you're got to have the success, man. Got to have the success. Right now, Chris Henderson took over as the new general manager at Inter Miami, and everything has changed. It's not so much getting messy, because Moss was going after Messi. So that's neither here nor there. But you start seeing at all the other talent, from the Rojas and the Frays and the Wrights and the Kromoskis, and that's Chris Henderson. You know what I'm saying? It takes no skill to bring Busquets and Alba along with Messi and Suarez. That just takes the balls and the determination and the will of the Moss family. Okay? Those fucking maniacs that want to win. But then everything else, calendar, everything else, that's Chris Henderson. You know? So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for that guy that is the reason why your franchise is the shit. Let's see what else. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points, Jordan 63, Kobe 81. That's right. That's right. I hate to say this, but Lebitch could still possibly be the best player. Well, he's a freak, bro. He's a cyborg. In my opinion, Marino and Shula are still the face of the Miami Dolphins franchise. However, the greater Miami Dolphins of all time is Larry Zonka. The man doesn't get respect. I got no problem with that. But again, those are all faces for us, old guys. You don't have one now that runs the organization, that makes everybody feel great. I love Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie, but I get it. It hasn't crossed the threshold for some of you all out there. I'm a big Tua guy. Hasn't crossed the threshold for some of you all out there. I get it. That's fine. So they have to cross that threshold to make us feel like Zito. Not necessarily win a championship, but you got to start winning. Winning playoff games. And then you can start to feel like you're headed in the right direction. Don't forget, please, to smash the hell out of the like button. Very important that you smash the hell out of the like button. And don't forget, you can also support us, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, we will be there on Wednesday. I'm right? Wednesday, right? Sean, we're there Wednesday. Yes, 1841 North State Road 7. We're right on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Come on out. They've got the Summer Super Saver Days going on. Over 2,000 Toyotas. They've got over 1,200 new Toyotas out there. No payments for 90 days. They've got 2.75% financing for 4 full years. 0 down. So get on down there. And by the way, they're also hiring. So business is booming at Toyota of Hollywood. It is crazy. That place is always loaded, by the way. And they are now hiring experienced master, mid-level, and lube technicians. Top compensation, signing bonus available. You can apply in person Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Go on down there to 1841 North State Road 7 and check it out and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. Okay. Big O just made me think of something. Who is the face of all South Florida sports, in your opinion? Are you talking about right now, this second? See, that's the key. You talk about 25 years ago, 50 years ago. So let's just keep it all here now, okay? Definitely no old face. So it's either Messi, Tua, Jimmy, or Kachuk. I don't know. I mean, it's tough because a lot of people don't care about soccer. So they don't care about Messi. Football is number one, but Kachuk has the championship, not Tua. Jimmy's been at least to a couple finals, but he's also kind of been pissing people off lately. I don't know. I don't think there is one. I don't think so. If anything, it would be Tua. Just for popularity purposes. That's it. And because football is more loved by the general public than any of the other sports. So slight lean to Tua, I guess, because he's so damn popular. That's about it. That's all I got. I don't think I can, Yeah, it would have to be Tua. It'd have to be Tua. Too many people don't care about soccer. So, I mean, Messi's not there, and the place, you saw how empty it was the other night. Did you see how many empty seats there were the other night for the League Cup game? Holy shit, dude. If Messi played, the place would be absolutely packed. But it shows you that people don't care about soccer. They just care about you only have Messi. We don't really have great Inter Miami fans. We have a bunch of bandwagon Messi fans that happen to be following Messi because he happens to be wearing an Inter Miami jersey. But those people are phonies. They're not going to be Inter Miami fans. You could tell the League's Cup game is going on and the place is empty. Those are all those Messi fans are all phonies. So they're probably mostly Argentinians that live here or some that fly in for games or something like that, or a couple of international fans that fly in. But yeah, not enough people care about soccer yet for it to be. Jimmy Butler is bigger than Messi. Yeah, Tua is definitely bigger than Messi for the general fan down here. And I'll go with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I'll go with Jimmy Butler because still more people care about the Heat than they do about Inter Miami. So yeah, I would go that way. What else do we have here? There was no 3-second violation that prevented players from planting themselves in the paint for more than 3 seconds at a time when Chamberlain scored 100. I mean, whatever, bro. I'm not here to argue about Chamberlain's 100-point. I don't really care about that. Just all I know is that it was a terrific performance by Steph Curry, but it's nowhere anywhere in my top probably 20, 50 performances of basketball of all time. If I start going through my computer and start thinking about great performances and moments, oh my God, I'm sure I'm going to run into too many to name that would be way more impressive for me than any of that stuff. Orlando, have you talked about Jazz Chisholm off to a hot start in New York since switching to third base? No, Jay, you're a Yankees fan, probably. I don't give a shit about the Yankees. I wish Jazz the best. I don't care about the Marlins. I didn't even talk about him being traded. I don't talk about any of the players being traded. I don't talk about if they win. I don't talk if they lose. I actually don't even talk baseball, to be quite honest. There's no reason to talk baseball. There's no interest in baseball down here because of the Marlins. You know, the last time I really talked baseball and I slid it in there, it's because I was working at 640 Sports when they carry the Yankees. So, okay, I could actually talk Yankees baseball because there were Yankee fans listening to 640. So at least I knew that I was addressing people that actually gave a shit about baseball and the Yankees, New Yorkers. And so here on this show, since I have a lot of South Floridians watching locally and all over the world that love their teams, I have made a decision to ban all Marlins talk. So I don't talk Marlins, and there's really no reason to talk baseball. Nobody really gives a shit enough about baseball down here because of the Marlins. So, yeah. But I know I do follow it. I just don't talk about it. But I know he's off to a terrific start. Good for him, man. He's free, bro. He's free of the shackles here of being on a shitty team and having to carry a shitty team. And then they blame you every time all the shittiness goes on, and it must be Jazz's fault. And so good for him. You know, good for him. Good for all these people that get out and they get to go somewhere else and play for a real organization. So that's kind of where I feel. The Marlins don't deserve any pub in any way, shape, or form. And when that ownership ever makes a commitment, then I'll make a commitment to talking about the Marlins. Hell, a couple of years when I started this thing, right before the pandemic, I was going to start going out to do shows over there. You know that? They were going to allow me to go do shows there because they don't have real radio partners. They have whatever, 940 or whatever. And 940 is, give me a break. That's not a radio partner. That's a Mickey Mouse outfit. I met with the PD, with the boss of all the stations there. Okay. And and that person told me, I just want you to know that, we'd like to work with you, but just so you know, it's the 7th station on our cluster and we treat it like that. And then when they told me that they wanted me to pay for my own producer, I was like, yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Yeah, no, I get it. You guys are a cheap ass outfit. You'll never get anywhere. So, 940 doesn't do shit. That's garbage. QAM is just slightly above garbage. That is full-blown garbage. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. They don't deserve, Jay, they don't deserve anything at all. No one should talk Marlins. No one should go to games. No one should buy a ticket. No one should do anything to help them at all. What they deserve is an absolutely empty stadium every night. That would be Headlines all over the place. Marlins playing to an absolutely empty stadium every night. Maybe that one idiot shows up. What's his name with the orange jersey? Mr. Marlin or some shit like that. Yeah, that guy. That's silliness.
Marlins man.
That's it. That's silliness. Marlins man. Is that dude still doing that shit? By the way, is he still around? Does that guy even exist? Does he still do shit? He does? Wow. Okay. All right. Good for him.
I have
got the
no
money.
idea. No idea.
Oh, you have no idea?
No.
Oh, I thought I got.
I didn't follow him when he was whatever he was. I didn't pay attention to him.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's nice to be rich. By the way, the Jets have released a statement from Joe Douglas. It says, we have informed Hassan that we will not trade him, that he is expected to be here with his teammates, and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report. Since the trade discussions back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys we have here as we prepare for the regular season. And you can't rescind all that stuff. He will lose money now. Whatever. So, Big O just in. Marlins just lost Western High School. Yeah, I would believe that. Oh, you think Jimmy Changas would ever win a chip? Who's Jimmy Changas? Oh, is that Jimmy Butler? No dice. The Heat have no shot at winning a title. None whatsoever. It's a miracle they got as far as they've gotten the last 5 years. They've gotten every break in the book with the bubble, and they got every break in the book the year that they had Embiid and Giannis injured. If you could continue to get that lucky, then maybe you can make it to the finals again. But as you noticed, once their luck ran out and they had to face Denver, what happened? Thoroughly embarrassed. So Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat have no shot whatsoever at an NBA championship unless everybody else is going to get injured again. Brett Campbell, does Eazy-E have any chance of making the team? Man, Brett, I got to tell you, dude, I think that ship has sailed pretty closely to it. It's like it's like it left port, right? And it's trying to like clear the what's that called? The government cut. So it's pulled out of the port, and then it's going through the rough waters of the government cut before it gets out to the ocean, right? So we got some time right now. Tugboats are, guiding it out and all that kind of stuff to make sure everything's kosher. But we're close. We're close because they've got receivers galore. They cannot afford to keep waiting for the kid. He brings, I understand, an element that we all like that the other guys don't have, but unless he has a week, the next 2 weeks that he goes out and tears it up, I think they'll try to sneak him onto the practice squad. And we'll see if he gets past it. Who knows? The attendance at Inter's game last week reminded me of the days before Messi. It was empty, rainy, and mediocre differences. Now they're winning. And they're really good, dude. They're really good without Messi. Like, really good. Like, they can win the championship good. I mean, they'll need a lot of shit to go their way, but even without Messi, I think they're good enough to even challenge anybody in the league. With Messi, of course, they can win it all. But they're good, dude. Wow. So, My son's coach had tickets for a game Friday, I believe. He was giving them away on the team's WhatsApp, and not a single person took them. Of course. No Messi. Bunch of phonies. So, whatever. Yes, the loud Marlins fan guy is still around. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, he's an old guy with money. Are you like doing exercise or something there, Sean? Is that what you're doing? Stretching or something? You weren't waving at me, right?
No, I'm stretching my shoulder.
Okay. I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing these gyrations, and I'm like, what's going on over there? Is he waving at me, or is he like, just stretching? Oh, man. Oh, once again, the Jets' dysfunction will keep them in third. Hey, more dysfunction, more power to them. Let's see. A disgruntled player on the Jets. How can that be? That's unheard of on such a prestigious, historical franchise. The Jets will have another 13-win season. How many 13-win seasons can they have? I don't know, but they're tired of winning 13 games a year. Easy ain't making this team. No, he's not. Big O, it could be worse. You guys can always have the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, and the Suns. Yeah, I get you. It's pretty bad, bro. We just got lucky because of Dombrowski, not because of anything else. You know? Big O, do you see Chop starting in week 1? Wow. Maybe. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. They could go veterans on the line. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance. I mean, if he continues at this pace, why not? What the hell? I like what I've seen from Chop. I like what I've seen from Kamara. Kids look good, man. Kids look really, really good. What else do we have? Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. All right. And here we go. Let's do a little music. Let's start off with that, right? Why don't we do that? Musicians born on this date. Oh, Sir Mix-a-Lot. He listens to a lot of Mad Dog Channel because he'd chime in a couple times when I was on. Sir Mix-a-Lot was born on this date in 1963. Baby got back. Bragi Olafsson, bassist from the Icelandic group The Sugar Cubes. Of course, Bjork was their former lead singer. Roy Hay, guitarist and vocalist for the Culture Club, born on this date in 1961. Jürgen Demel from the German group Nena. The 99 Luftballons. What an annoying freaking song that is. Pat Metheny, born in this date in 1954, the American jazz guitarist and composer. He used to perform a lot in Vegas. A little bar there. Jerry Spicer, drummer for Men at Work, born on this date in 1953. Mark Knopfler, the great Mark Knopfler, songwriter, guitarist, singer for Dire Straits. There we go. There goes Guitar Joe. He knows all the chords. Let's see. Roy Gaines, guitarist and backing musician session for the Everly Brothers, the Supremes, and Stevie Wonder and Gladys Knight. So he's got a little bit of talent. He's trusted by a few people in that business that are pretty damn talented. Just say. You gotta have some skills there. Let's go with birthdays for other famous folk. We start off with Tyson Fury, boxer, is 36 years old. Well, this is not a deep list. It's a bunch of unknowns here. Peter Krause, actor, is 59. Casey Affleck, movie actor, 49. I just saw a movie with Casey Affleck. Let's see who else. And I think that is it. That's all I have here. All right, Sean, any wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, Falaba turns 39. Shark Boy is 49. The coach, Jonathan Coachman, turns 51. And the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor, he is 69 years old. Those are your birthdays for August 12th.
All right, we go with music history. First of all, in 1968 on this date, Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham played for the first time when they rehearsed at a studio in London. The first song they played was a version of The Train Kept A-Rollin'. In 67, Fleetwood Mac on this date made their live debut at London's National Jazz and Blues Festival. The headliners at the festival were Donovan and Pink Floyd. In 91, Metallica released their self-titled album, the band's fifth and best-selling effort, and is known as the Black Album. In 93, the Red Hot Chili Peppers replaced guitarist Eric Marshall with Jesse Tobias, but 3 months later, Tobias was replaced by Dave Navarro. In 99, on this day, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band closed out their record-setting 15-show stand at East Rutherford, New Jersey's Continental Airlines Arena. In 94, Woodstock 94 took place in Saggerties, right? Is it Saggerties? Is that how it's pronounced? Saggerties, New York. And it featured performances from the likes of Green Day, Nine Inch Nails, Metallica, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and many more. And that's what happened today in music history. And today, we lost someone. Actor, comedian Angel Salazar, best known for his role in the films Scarface and Carlito's Way, alongside Al Pacino, has died at the age of 68. Ann Winsong, a representative and close friend of the actor, confirmed to TMZ. Winsong said Salazar passed away in his sleep at a friend's Brooklyn home over the weekend. Salazar's cause of death wasn't disclosed. However, Winsong acknowledged that the actor had a history of heart issues. Salazar landed the breakthrough role of Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi, get the yayo. A sidekick character to Pacino's Tony Montana in the cult classic Scarface early in his acting career. The actor also appeared in the films Where the Buffalo Roam, A Stranger Is Watching, The Wildlife, Sylvester, Punchline, and Carlito's Way, which also starred Pacino, as well as a guest appearance on the television show of our own, the new Street series, Jersey's Mafia Chronicles, and in Living Color. Salazar also worked as a stand-up comedian, starring in several HBO comedy specials and securing a role on NBC series Last Comic Standing. The 68-year-old's final performance was held at Reno's Silver Legacy Resort and Casino in Las Vegas from August 1st through August 4th. Chi-Chi, the yayo. Sure, Tony. So, Chi-Chi has passed away, ladies and gentlemen. Rest in peace, my brother. Rest in peace. We'll all be there one day. We'll all be there one day. Carlito's Way, the cheap wanna knock off Scarface. That movie sucked. Big O, little music trivia. What actor comedian was the first and original drummer for Steely Dan back in college? He left the band after college before their name change and fame. Actor comedian that could have been the drummer for Steely Dan and left before they became famous. No idea. Trying to think of an actor comedian that was a musician, and maybe I can guess it, but not because I would know it. It would just be a really lucky ass guess. And I don't know who the hell it would be. You got some there, Sean?
Well, no, but I do have on the question there, because it says, who was the first or original drummer for Steely Dan back in college? But then it says he left the band before their name changed, so that he wasn't a drummer for Steely Dan then.
Right, it was the early origin
that became Steely Dan.
That became Steely Dan, right? Exactly.
I do know because I cheated, so I'm just waiting to see.
I totally understand what he's saying. So I did understand what he was talking about. Because this happens with lots of bands, you know, they change their names and people leave before they became famous or whatever.
They got it in the chat, though. It's just so you know.
They said Chevy. Oh, so it's Chevy Chase? Really? I had no idea he was a drummer.
Yeah, the band was called the Leather. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I thought I had it on. The band. Dropped. Man. All right, it was called the Leather Canary. And then after they left the band, the two remaining band members went on to form Steely Dan. So that is where we're at. So Chevy Chase, great question there, Oscar Rojas. And hopefully pops back on here in a minute, because he has left me. He has dropped. We'll see if he comes back on. He was having a little bit of choppy service. So line up your wrestling questions if you got them. Line them up. It is Ask Sean Anything, and maybe he'll answer right now on the Big O Show. So, Brett Dodger says, your depth of trivia knowledge knows no... Oh, Dougie Fresh is the master of trivia. I know that much there. As we wait for the great Big O to rejoin the show. You guys get to look at me. This is what you're going to do. Does Chris Jericho count as actor turned musician? Man, let me tell you something. Chris Jericho is a fantastic individual who I don't want to see wrestle anymore, except on sporadic occasions. That's all I want to see happen there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, here he is. He's the Big O, Orlando. How's it, Gary?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I guess the internet sucks here. I guess it's not doing well. So what can I tell you? But I appreciate you all hanging in there, and thank you, Sean, for helping us out there. Thank you. Don't forget, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And of course, you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which, you know, we absolutely love our Bitcoin and Ethereum donations. So you all did get Chevy Chase. I had no idea that he was a musician. So there you go. Yes, sir.
I think you dropped before I got this. The name was the Leather Canaries when he was a part of the band. Then when he left, the other two formed Steely Dan.
Him and the keyboardist, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah.
What's the name? What's the other guy's name? I think it's a keyboardist that died a few years back. Yeah. Because he was the main guy that helped that with Donald Fagen. They wrote a lot of the music. I'm pretty sure, because he helped out a lot. Let's see, Sean. Did you know that once I had to kick the angry Samoan twins off a racquetball court? What? They kept playing.
Yeah.
So it's
very brave of you to try to get in the way of the angry Samoan twins.
Sean, I got to meet Sweet Daddy Siki years ago. Do you remember him as a pro wrestler?
He was a little before my time, but he was a good man. I got to meet him outside of the ring, and he was a true great human being.
There you go. There you go. A little wrestling talk for you all, because I certainly can't fill that void for you. Sorry. I'd love to, but that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. Steve M says, thank you, Steve M. Hateful Steve sending in, although his is political. You see, Kamala steals Trump no tax tips ideas. So, big deal. As long as she doesn't steal, like, I don't know, like loving dictators and congratulating dictators, as long as Kamala doesn't steal that from Trump, we're good. If Trump happens to have a good idea, then, why not? People have good ideas, you use them. They have bad ideas, like let's run an insurrection. That's not a good idea, Steve. As long as Kamala doesn't say, let's use disinfectant for COVID, we'll get it right under the skin. As long as Kamala doesn't tell a white supremacist group, stand back and stand by. So, if she steals the no-tip thing, that's a good thing for the people that work in that industry. Now, what's not good for you and me is if she, all of a sudden, she loses the election and says, no, it was a lie. Because conveniently, when you lose, it's a lie. It's rigged. If you're winning, like you're panicking now, Steve. You didn't say anything when I was saying the orangutan was going to kill the deadbeat, right? Orangutan was beating Biden. Now you're so nervous with Harris. It's funny watching the Trumpies, bro. I mean, watching Democrats freak out about Biden dying right in front of them was hilarious. But now watching Trumpies freak out that Trump's campaign is going straight down the shitter, it's freaking hilarious. But there's a lot of things that you don't want to inherit from the orangutan, Steve. Maybe there's a couple things that he might do that are good. But there's a lot of things you may want to stay away from. But hey, conveniently, don't put that in your note when you send it to me. Because far be it from you Trumpies to actually admit all the wrong things the guy does. As long as Kamala doesn't get caught calling Georgia and Arizona to steal votes in an election she lost. Unless she doesn't pick up those kind of things from Trump, we're good, bro. We're good. Okay? So, as long as she doesn't love Putin, we're good. She doesn't love Kim Jong-un, we're good. We're good. It's a lot of things Kamala can stay away from that Trump does, Steve. I just want to point that out, Steve, to you. Just want to point it out. Hopefully Kamala knows how to hold up a Bible properly. Well, she's probably actually read one. Let's see. Oh, man. It's like the easiest, it's like a layup. Oh, you want to defend Biden? Okay, let me tell you why you can't. Oh, you want to defend Trump? I'll tell you why you can't. Easiest ones. You're all too easy. Dems and Republicans, you're all too easy. Way too easy. But hey, thank you for the material. I appreciate it. All right, we thank Ira Winderman. We thank Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that knows how to get it done every single day of our lives here. We thank all of you that tuned in. Those of you that sent in a super chat, thank you. If you supported our show with a Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, thank you. If you visit our merchandise shop, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. However it is, and visit our amazing sponsors like the Big Cheese. We'll be broadcasting there in October. We're going to load that place up. I want you guys to come on over and join us. We have all kinds of giveaways and stuff. So please come on out and join us, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon show again because we've got practice. We've got 5 more practices left. So there will be 5 extra afternoon shows left, and then we're back to normally our 10 a.m. slot unless it's on a Thursday. So I appreciate all of you out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the